Let's go from one very strong woman to another. I love this lady. If it's up to me, she's the next governor here in New York, even though she hasn't officially announced she's running yet. At the time, she's a tremendous congresswoman, fresh off an appearance on Fox News, my dear friend Elise Stefanik. Elise, good Monday morning. How are you?
I'm good, Sid. Can you believe this? It was only a matter of time before the worst governor in America bent the knee to this raging anti-Semite communist Zoran Mamdani. Kathy Hochul is an absolute disgrace. My phone has been ringing off the hook with people who are appalled that she has made this decision to embrace every radical position he stands for. It's bad for New York City. It's bad for New York State. And people are going to hold her accountable next November.
I hope they do. You know, she was at John Catsimatidis' breakfast in the Hamptons a couple of weeks ago and was championing, capitalism and wanted John to keep his stores. But like you said, it was just a matter of time. Hakeem Jeffries will do it. Chuck Schumer will do it. She will do it because in Kathy Hochul's case, it is clear that she has put her disgraceful, disgusting Democratic Party ahead of us people living in her state. It is 100% clear she cares more about politics than New Yorkers.
You said it exactly right, Sid. And let's look at the polling. The majority of New York City residents, as Democrat as that city is, they oppose Zoran Mamdani. They want someone else, and they're divided among Sliwa, Adams, and Cuomo. But he is still well below 50%. The fact that she is endorsing someone who does not have the support of the majority of New York City voters is appalling. It shows to me that she is so concerned about her very bad polling, even among Democrat voters, that this is her appeasing the left, embracing defund the police, embracing the anti-Semitism, embracing abolishing law enforcement and abolishing ICE. So, when she tries to talk a big game at that breakfast you mentioned she did in the Hamptons with the great leader and entrepreneur John Catsimatidis, she's talking one side of her mouth, but look at her actions. Her actions have been catastrophic for the state of New York. They have led to us being the highest tax state in the nation, a significant skyrocketing of crime because of failed bail reform, an amnesty state with her state sanctuary city policies, and now she is fueling anti-Semitism. Zoran Mamdani is essentially a pro-Hamas, pro-terrorist mayor's candidate, and Kathy Hochul has embraced him. The New York Post cover got it exactly right. It's Comrade Hochul for Comrade Mamdani.
Yeah, I call him a terrorist, and a bunch of people and publications and Twitter have taken me to task. I'm not taking it back. I know President Trump calls him a communist because he hopes he loses because of the money factor. Others have called him a Marxist, a socialist. But as far as I'm concerned, he's a terrorist, so she is pro-terrorism. You know what's funny, Elise? I'll ask you a simple question. Who is Mamdani running against? Simple question.
He's running against Trump. I mean, Kathy Hochul said in her op-ed in the New York Times, they want to do everything they can to oppose Trump. And look at what's happening across the country. You have law enforcement being supported. We just passed a historic tax cut. And yet in New York, what is happening? We're moving in the opposite direction under single-party rule led by Democrats, led by Kathy Hochul, where they're raising taxes. They're embracing the criminals. They're putting illegals first. So this is very, very damaging to New York State. And unfortunately, Zoran Mamdani and Kathy Hochul have been the top realtors for the states of Florida and other states because of the mass outmigration because of their failed policies.
Yeah, you got it right. I was hoping you were going to say Cuomo, Sliwa, and Adams, but you know what, Elise? You're way too smart for that. He's running against Trump, and so is she. So you're going to be our candidate, our nominee, hopefully, and sooner than later. I want you in there. But she's going to run against Trump too. It's amazing that we've got all these people in New York and city and state, and all these New York officials. They've taken upon themselves to run against the president and not the folks in the city and state they're actually running against.
And let me tell you something else, Sid. Kathy Hochul wants it both ways. She runs secretly to meet with President Trump, begging him for support. She runs into that Oval Office. She doesn't want the Democrats to find out about it. She runs, tells him, and says there's no way there's going to be a communist elected in New York City mayor. And then what does she do publicly? She embraces Zoran Mamdani and attacks President Trump. But the Democrats, even the radical Democrats, should know that. She is two-faced.
Yep.
She is a weak, failed governor. And that's why when I say she's the worst governor in America, people agree, because even in her own party, they know it's true.
It's funny. Trump told me exactly that, Elise, on this show. He was on Tuesday. He said, Sid, she's very nice to my face. But then when I'm not there, she's not so nice. And when you call her the worst governor in the country, when you consider Elise Stefanik, you've got people like, I don't know, J.B. Pritzker in Illinois, Gavin Newsom in California, even Wesley Moore in Maryland. When you call her the worst governor in the country, that's really bad, right?
Yeah, and she deserves it. She deserves it, and everyone knows it's true. I think people, she was trying to tell people in President Trump's orbit, no, she's not going to endorse Mamdani. And I said to the president and to the White House, it is only a matter of time. She is going to bend the knee. She is going to endorse him. And then sure enough, she did. She has shown her true colors, which is a radical communist anti-Semite who is more concerned about her own political issues and lack of support among far-left voters, which is now mainstream in the Democrat Party. She puts herself before New Yorkers. We need leaders that are putting New York first. She has failed to do that.
I got to ask you this, Elise. It's kind of the elephant in the room, and that is you're going to run. I think everybody knows that. But the question is when. Like Lola was on this show a couple of weeks ago. He said, will you tell Elise to get in a race every day that goes by, even though she's great and she's on your show and Fox News and being critical of Kathy Hochul and sharing very important information? Every day that goes by is a day wasted because she's not running yet.
It's not a day wasted, Sid, because we have the local elections this year, and people can support that with Save New York. We have Bruce Blakeman. We got to make sure he's going to win in Nassau County, the county executive race. We have mayor's races. We have Democrats on the march throughout the state, and we're working. So if people want to support that effort, they can donate to SaveNewYork.com. There is already polling that shows we have closed the gap by 10 points.
Yes.
I mean, we are polling today where we were in October before the last gubernatorial race. So the fact that she is losing independence, she is losing Long Island, she is losing upstate, and she's not getting her numbers in New York City, we are putting we are laying this groundwork, Sid, and people are supporting. I mean, people are coming out of the woodwork, especially in the past 24 hours.
I got to tell you, I have friends who were so enthusiastic, Elise, about Trump winning. That's all they wanted. And a lot of them feel the same way about Curtis. I don't know, including all these other candidates I just mentioned, if my people that I talk to, friends and people in the business, I don't know if they've been more enthusiastic about a potential candidate than you. That's twofold. First of all, it just goes to show you how great you are. You are great. And how miserable Kathy Hochul is. So the enthusiasm for you, I believe, for that governor position, may be at an all-time high.
Well, I very much appreciate the outpouring of support across the state. I appreciate the support from all party lines. You should hear the Democrats that we hear from on a daily basis, especially, as I said, not just this summer, but the last 24 hours, seeing Kathy Hochul just weekly bend the knee. So, as I said, people can support SaveNewYork.com. That is laying the groundwork. That is our state efforts to make sure that we are in a position to fire Kathy Hochul once and for all next year, to save New York with common sense, with strong leadership, with cutting taxes, with supporting law enforcement, making sure that we're affordable and that we're a safe state to live, raise your family, grow a business, instead of this failed single-party Democrat rule and embrace of communism.
Well said. Final 60 seconds. I'd be remiss if I didn't go here. Looks like President Trump and a lot of other big folks are going to be at the stadium in Arizona where the Cardinals play this Sunday for the funeral for Charlie Kirk. They expect, who knows, maybe upwards of 60,000 people. I know you love them, clearly. Will you be in attendance on Sunday? And what do you think about this murder? What does it say about our country?
It is horrific. I knew Charlie for over 10 years. I met him in the suburbs of Chicago, which is where he's from, when he was just starting Turning Point. And, he said that he's starting a conservative college campus group, and I remember saying to him, that's amazing. So many people have tried to do that. So many have failed. Look at what he built Turning Point into, but look at the people pouring out in support. He went to the belly of the beast of the left, which is our college campuses, and engaged in free debate and discourse. That's exactly what we should be having in our country, and he was killed because of it. targeted by the radical left and assassinated. And I really think about those two children, his precious children and his wife, and the loss of their father and their husband. Tonight we're having a vigil on Capitol Hill, on the Capitol steps, in honor of Charlie Kirk. And, you know, Sid, you should look at my Twitter. I was going through text messages with Charlie Kirk, and in the summer, he talked about how, you know, some people on the right say we should give up New York, and here's why we can't do that. And it was a beautiful, well thought out tweet about how we have to fight to save New York. The great cities, the symbols of capitalism, the symbols of innovation for people that live in New York. That, to me, is the fighting spirit of Charlie. And it's horrific. It's a watershed moment. And I'll tell you, Kathy Hochul refused to lower the flags to half-mast, but I'm so proud driving around that businesses, families, and communities were doing it anyways, despite this heinous, heartless governor who refused to do this. So, you know, God rest his soul. And this movement is stronger than ever, but I just feel for his family, Sid.
So do I. Erica that was gut-wrenching on Friday. And you're right, even the Jets honored Charlie Kirk yesterday, that woke NFL, but Kathy Hochul could not find it in her heart to do it. What a horrible person. That's the bottom line. You know, there are some politicians, they're not terrible people. They get caught up in it. They're afraid of the people inside their own party. I really believe in my heart of hearts, she's not a good person. That's what I believe.
Mm-hmm. Well, voters want someone new, and they want a strong leader. She's a weak leader. She's heartless. She has embraced the communist, and she owns every position that is putting New Yorkers last, whether it's the high taxes, whether it's the criminals and illegals. First, she owns this. She has created this. She is the leader of the New York Democrat Party, and look at the state of the New York Democrat Party. It is full-blown anti-Semitism and communism. But we have a lot of work to do, Sid. Thanks for the opportunity to be on the show.
We love you, Stefanik. Thank you for hopping on this morning. Tremendous job as always. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye. Stefanik right there, the amazing congresswoman, and hopefully the next governor here in New York, giving us some time after her Fox News appearance this morning. She actually reached out to me, which is pretty surreal. 10 o'clock last night to get a phone call from Elise. So thank you for hopping on this morning. Stefanik, as always, an amazing job. We'll take a break.